Okay, this is lesson Algebra 2, day 22, solving equations through factoring. Those are the steps. Okay, numbers 1 and 2. Just watch right now, pencils down. Number 1. First thing you want to do, step 1 is set y f of x equal to 0. In this example, you could see 0, the equation's already set to 0. Step 2 is place all the terms on one side. You could see that that's already happened on the left side. Okay. And we could see that this is a quadratic equation because it's the biggest exponent is x squared. This is a quadratic equation. Okay. So since it's x squared, there's going to be two answers, or you should get two answers, unless it's the same answer twice. Okay. Step 3, factor one side. I want to check to see if there's any common factors before I start. There is no common factor for 3, 4, or 8. And there's no common factors for the x's. Okay, so we can't find a common factor. So the next thing you want to do is you got to attempt an x box. Okay, so working out an x box here, putting down our a's. 3. A times C is 12, B is 8, and we know that it's going to work out as 6 times 2. Okay, check your fractions. 3 over 6 we could simplify, it could be 1 over 2. That works out. 3 over 2 is already simplified, so we know that one's going to be done. So now we plug in, we know that those are the factors, so we have x plus 2 times 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Now we use the zero product property to make each of these binomials equal to 0. X plus 2 is equal to 0, and 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay? Two separate equations, subtract 2 on both sides is equal, or subtract 2 from both sides. When we do that, x is equal to negative 2. As one of the answers. Second answer, you subtract 2 out from both sides. 2's cancel out. We get 3x is equal to negative 2. Divide both sides by 3. 3's cancel out. X is equal to negative 2/3 as your second answer. And remember, this is where these are the points on the x-axis. On the x-axis where we have solutions, okay? Pencils down. I'll give you a moment to write. Don't worry. Just watch, okay? Just watch. Okay? Again, from the top, I check if there are, make sure everything's on one side, make y equal to 0. It's already given in a nice clean way. We know that it's x squared, it's quadratic. Checked for common factors, we can't, so now we have to use x box and find our factors here. Then we use the zero product property, making two equations equal to 0. Solve each equation separately, we get two solutions, just like we predicted from the beginning. Okay? Let's do number 2. Watch number 2. Number 2 is a little more difficult. Okay? Watch carefully. Number 2, step 1, set y equal, or f of x equal to 0. We don't have either of those on there, so we don't need to worry about that in this example. Step 2, place all terms on one side. Since everything is mainly on the left side, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 6 from the right side and the left side so that we have everything equal to 0. Plus 40. Okay? Step 3, factor one side. We ask ourselves, is there a common factor here? Yeah, there's a common factor of 8. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to factor out an 8. Okay? And since I did that, now I'm going to divide both sides by 8. If I were to divide 8 from both sides, 8 divided by 8 cancels out, and I'm just left with 1. 0 divided by 8 will still be 0. So, and right now what we're left with is what's in the parentheses n squared minus 6n plus 5, okay? I'm not going to rewrite it because for the sake of time I'm just going to move forward. So we know that n squared minus 6n plus 5 is equal to 0. Again, do an X box if you were to factor this. This is from Friday's lesson. If you missed Friday's lesson, over here, okay? Do an X box. This would be an example from Friday, okay? So we got 1 and 1, a times c at the top, which is going to be 5. B is in the middle, negative 6. We have to ask ourselves what multiplies to be positive 5 and adds up to be negative 6. It would be minus 5 and minus 1. Okay? So we make two binomials. Now we just factor them equal to 0. And we got x minus 5 and x minus 1. Okay? Zero product property, x minus 5 is equal to 0. X minus 1 is equal to 0. Add 5 here on both sides, you get x is equal to 5. And on the right hand side you add 1 to both sides and you get x is equal to 1. Okay, those are your two answers. Are there any questions? Okay, so two examples. You're going to get a moment to write. So what I'd like you to do right now, 1's tell the 2's about number 1, 2's tell the 1's about number 2. Ready, set, go.